Hello guys, welcome back to another one, and it's a very special one. It is our top split debut, and the names in this room almost immediately gave us an underpants department incident, believe it or not. I can tell you, sitting on the grid walk here, I think we definitely had a bit of PP in our pants, just like all the famous world champions. Just ask Lewis Hamilton. If he tells you he doesn't, he's telling you lies. But anyway, we weren't going to make a big deal about this, and then we thought about it and we thought to ourselves, no, why not make a huge, fucking, some might even say ridiculously embarrassing, over the top deal about this shit. We never thought we'd get this far. To be honest, there's Key, and right on Key's ass, you have the Sexy Library Award winner, which was Scotty Senior. No doubt later on in the race we'll get a better look at that Sexy Library, and the impressive fast names just keep on coming. Our qualifying lap was a personal best of a 1:14.599, which I like to call a 1:14.5. As we continue on down the field, there's Mr. Sam. We had an awesome battle in the previous race with Mr. Sam, and there's Mr. Fons down the back as well. The three-letter name guys were here to do a job. Without further ado, let's begin the first episode of Scotty Senior's adventures in Top Split. It is more than likely a very, very limited series, no doubt. Hopefully like a shooting star, we've just entered Top Split and had some guys looking at us and thinking, what the fuck. As we come around, the lights were dropped slightly poor, and straight away the team is telling us to just relax. Just chill out and relax and see what unfolds. We'll have Creaser and Mr. Jones on our ass. A nice first corner though. You can see the fans lined up around this circuit, looking quite shocked and amazed. I think whenever we arrived here, we couldn't believe we were in Top Split, but we'll run round and we shook everybody's hand. Our arm was killing us by the end of that season, but we shook everybody's hand and tell them that if by somehow, as we're trying to make and move on round, but he comes across us ever so slightly a wheel on the grass, we've got away with it, still in the battle. But we shook everybody's hand around the track and promised them an invite to the wildest, most craziest pit party they had ever been to in their lives, if we somehow managed to get a top 5. Of course they all laughed. They laughed at us, but you can see them now. The look on their face. Oh my goodness, as Key almost drops the wheel, and let's go back and have a quick look at that again, and I think you will see, we'll pause it, and if you look very closely at Key's wing mirror, right where we pause it, just there, if you look closely at Key's wing mirror, you can see he's looking directly at us. He's looking at the Sexy Library. So it's caught him out, and he's hopefully learned his lesson. He's been caught out there by a wee glimpse of the sexiest goddamn library he's ever seen in his life. As the team pit board me and say settle in, we did get on the radio with the team during this race about writing me pit board messages in white writing on a white background. We weren't too pleased with them. We were on the radio now, I think, down this here straight, telling them, what kind of pit boarding signs is that? Have you not got a black whiteboard marker? Surely. But we've been sitting in the slipstream. Still a load of stuff could go on in this one, as someone, it's Killian up front, has dropped the wheel. And Key must be licking his lips now, as Key's having him for breakfast. Oh, and he's put the squeeze on round and round the side to squeeze him back. And are we going to get a run? Are we going to get a run in a normal race? We'd have had that shit. We'd have had that shit for sure. But in your first ever top split race, you do not want to be the guy to have anyone right and tell you at the end of the race you threw a wild one. As the team tell me to focus, we have Creaser still on our ass, applying the pressure from the rear end, and we all know pressure on the rear end can make you shit yourself basically. We do not want an underpant department incident in this race for ourselves at all. Our first ever time in top split, they were looking at us, they were like, who is this? And then we pulled this here car out of the van and they just were amazed, the shock on their faces. Still doing very well at the moment, no mistakes. Basically a wee sprint race this one was in the end. The tyre wear didn't really affect the Sirocco at all, so it has failed very nice for us as Killian drops it other way and out he goes, and we're up into the top 8. Still in the slipstream of the queue in front of us. Was there anything more to be had as the pit come out again with a "you can," trying to give us a bit of belief in this one. You can do this shit. And again, we're on the radio complaining about using a white marker to give me signs with a white background. It's not on. We were screaming our head off. We were struggling to read that there during the race. As another incident goes down, as Key makes a move on Will. Quick jump back, keep an eye on the battle. Up ahead as Key goes for the inside. No contact made, I believe, but Will drops himself a wheel and out he goes. And we're up into the top 7. And my goodness, now if you look at the fans' faces now, it may be hard to make out at high speeds such as we're doing on this one. But try to look very close, you will see. I think they're starting to have a bit of faith. They're starting to believe that this pit party could actually fucking happen as we go to get a run on Ryan for a Super GT P6 maybe. What about it? No, we backed out of it and we're glad that was a good decision in the end, because we were more than likely going to have a wheel on the grass there. And we come round and again past the pit lane. We get a bit of a run on Ryan and the team are pitting us. Go, go, go. The move is done. We've got to know that we're up in P6 on our first ever fucking attempt in top split. Can you believe it? I don't even know if this was a good top split or not, but it was top split. I didn't think I'd have got there. Look at the fans are shocked. They can't believe it. They're definitely starting to believe now, as Ryan is all over our ass trying to get a run back, but there's nowhere to go. There's just nowhere to go, and we've got Key in front of us. I can report we did flash our lights 3 to 4 times at Key. It had no effect. It was too far back. But we did try it. As we get a wee nudge in the back from Ryan, we had a poor exit there. Luckily no silly penalties from Gran Turismo, and we're just out of the slipstream of Key. Up ahead. Very frustrating, as an incident seems to have went on in the background there. Let's jump back and we'll keep an eye on it. As Creaser seems to get a bit of a run on Ryan, and then comes over and nudges Ryan, and Ryan thinks, what the fuck? What the fuck's that all about? I'm not sure what that was all about, but it's came back on Creaser. As with the 30 tyres, he goes out again and he drops back a spot. Head down. The team are telling us, stop looking at the shit that's going on in your mirror. We know that looked entertaining there, but head down. Focus in front on Mr. Key. Failed really nice for us, this one. we've managed to keep, yeah, perfect time for the Sexy Library award winner of the race flashing up. Let's have a look at this. Mr. Tom, the creator. Big thumbs up for Mr. Tom, aka Blue Ukulele, with another badass sexy ass library. We gave so many t-shirts and hats away there this day when we turned up. The Irish people turned up in their ones and twos, and they went around with a shitload of whiskey and gave it out to thousands, possibly even hundreds of thousands. But yeah, what is in Key's head at the minute now, with that Sexy Library just threatening to get into that slipstream? It must be distracting for him. But yeah, this race felt really nice for us in terms of we're competitive on this track. It's one of the tracks that we seem to have the speed on, and the car felt really nice in the chicane, which is the main thing in this track. If you have a nice stable car in that chicane, then you should be able to hit nice and steady consistent laps, time in, time out. As we're back on board now, and we found ourselves in a wee bit of a gap. I think Ryan is just out of her slipstream on Mr. Jones. But more stuff going on up ahead, just round the corner there. It looked as if there was a bit of side by side going down as we came round yet again. What was the team thinking of our performance at the moment? They said push, and thank fuck they found themselves a blackboard marker, or a black marker to use on that goddamn whiteboard. They figured out what was going wrong, technical problems in the editing suite department. But still, the fans, look at them, they're starting to believe. They started to have a smile on their face that day. There was thousands of them waving us on at the side of the track. Brought me back to my motocross days for sure. And look at them, they're going fucking berserk in the background. Look at them in the stands here around this one. The whole stands were bouncing up and down that day. We wanted so goddamn much to give them an invite to the pit party, but it was just out of reach at the moment. Very frustrating. This is the most popular view that most people use, and you can see why, with a beautiful big mirror at the top. Sorry about that, folks, a bit of a technical problem there. Still learning this editing stuff, but we're enjoying learning it, as we're still on board with the most popular on board on this. Key still ahead, lap 9 of a 15 lapper. Back out to the view that we use, the chase cam. Not necessarily because we think it certainly doesn't look the best. I think some of the cockpit cams are beautiful, and the bonnet cam is also very nice for hitting your apexes and just making you feel like you're in an intense race. But in terms of, for me, trying to stay clean and avoid incidents, I think the chase cam is the way to go. You can see kinda everything has settled down a little bit in this one. Still just out of that reach of slipstream. The team trying to keep us motivated by telling us that there is a goddamn pit party ahead. Come on, they're shouting at us. We're going berserk. And you can see the pressure was still on the ass area. They were threatening to get back up into your slipstream and make us start thinking a bit of a top 10 instead of a pit party. But still, the fans are starting to lose a bit of hope now. They're seeing a bit of a gap opening up. Key has stretched it on us ever so slightly. Can the team motivate us yet again, as this race is starting to become a bit boring for us? They're telling us to breathe, just breathe, settle into it, breathe. Right, that's good advice from the team. As we skip back there, an incident must have happened behind us, as yes, into the chicane went Mr. Jones, and that was his hopes of a top 5 out the window. There would be no pit party that day for Mr. Jones, although he would indeed receive an invite to ours, because everybody who turned up that day was invited to our pit party if we could manage to get there somehow. Didn't look like it. It looked as if we were gonna end up with a Super GT result, 6th. Very, very happy still, just over the moon with everything about this race. This was like the dream first top split race for me. I was competitive and I didn't make a fool of myself. Everything went very well. I'm sure this has to be a very limited series of Scotty Senior's adventures in top split. We're definitely out of our league. We're not kidding ourselves, but my goodness, what a dream debut this is turning out to be at the moment. The only thing missing was that goddamn pit party that day. And again, don't give up. The team are telling us, come on, don't give up. Motivation, I'm telling you, even the commentator needs a bit of motivation. With the last couple of laps, we've been losing hope ourselves. But Key is starting to move up on a car in front of him. So incidents could be about to go down, maybe. As Key's run wide, he's run wide. My goodness. Oh, he seems to be having, no doubt, one of his famous rages in the car. He's getting his head back down now, but he's going to have to fully focus as he's trying to get that dirt off the tyres, shaking the ass. And a tiny bit of belief, perhaps, coming back to us. Come and nail this corner with him on 30 tyres and get back up into the slipstream, and then it would be all back on. Oh, we were close, but we were just out of it, as the team are still telling us to believe. With a black marker, they're doing a good job so far after those first initial 3 or 4 laps where we were on the mic, on the radio, complaining an awful lot to them. The pressure was still there in the background, but we did have our full attention up ahead in front of us. Very consistent lap times from us, as you see, running down the side, as someone else appears in front of us recovering from some sort of incident. Is that going to bring anything to us? A surprise at the end of this one? Even without a surprise, we were absolutely over the moon. Loved it. And we've even learnt to add a couple of words to our races and stuff as we come round. What magical words did the team have? Big push, they're telling us, big push, Scotty, it's now or never. The tyres were feeling a tiny tad, nothing to complain about really. If we'd have nailed our lap, we still should have been in it, but if anything, it looks like we've lost another bit of time. but we're still hoping that Key really wants a pass. On the Gan front, there could be penalties or incidents still to go yet. That's what we were hoping for anyway, as there wasn't really any pressure on the rear end in this one. We were almost a bit sad because we were looking at those fans, and you can see that those fans are sad too. Those fans have been teased with the wildest, most craziest pit party invite they would ever have been to in their lives, and we've made hundreds of thousands of them. Very sad looking at the moment, but Key is getting very close. The guy in front up there at the minute, as we come round, bring it home. The team have even lost hope of the pit party. They're just telling me bring the car home. That's all we need. Bring her home nice and safe, Scotty. Job done. A Super GT performance with a Super GT result. But Key is getting a bit of a run on the car up ahead. He's feeling like a move up the inside as he backed out of it. Oh, there's been some sort of contact because a penalty has been handed out. There's been a penalty, and it's a 2-second penalty was handed out. Can we get to within 2 seconds of this car, and then we've got ourselves the wildest, most craziest pit party in history. But by the looks of it, he's just out of range. He is indeed. That looks like it's more than the 2 seconds. But please pay close attention to the guy with the penalty as coming into the chicane for one final time. Can he survive it? No, he's hit the wall, and all of a sudden there's a fire in the pit lane. It's Scotty Senior's team. They've lit the barbecue. Some people are on the track. They think it's all over, and it is now. Can you believe that shit? And I can confirm, every fucking person who turned up to that wild crazy pit party had a free fly on a pink elephant, and they all loved it. They look at them, party time. They were shouting, they were going wild and crazy in front of us as we finished the race, and no doubt Key right in front of us. What's he thinking? What are you thinking, Key? Tell me. Whoa, what a library as he checks us out in the mirror. I can't tell you, this was the highest ever score I've had as well in terms of points. It was 297, which is a high score. And yep, thank you very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you next time. Hopefully we'll have another good one.